Hi, this is Robot, scooterwest.com. I'm going to show the task of putting a battery in your GTS. There's a couple variations to the batteries they used over the years. If you have a GT200, it's going to use this battery, which is a YTX 12BS. It's a completely sealed battery. The earlier GTS 250s and GTVs, and the GT60, they all used a 10 amp non-sealed battery, and basically it's pretty similar to this look, but it's got a little vent tube, and it also has caps that remove where you could top off or check the fluid level. And that's a conventional style battery that's kind of been used in motorcycles for years. And you need to make sure the drain tube is actually routed through the bottom of the frame, otherwise it may corrode the scooter's frame. Other thing we're going to install is the battery tender leads, which are handy. There's a couple different ways to install them, but for this bike I'm going to have them hidden, so you don't see them popping out the battery door. A lot of people will pop the actual lead out the battery door so you can get easy access to it, but basically I already kind of drilled or enlarged the hole that was already here, a little drain hole, just enlarged it enough where you could pass this connector in through, and then the wires will pop up. All right, we're going to go ahead and fill this maintenance-free YTX 12BS battery. Open up the battery pack. It comes with a sealed battery that's not filled with the actual acid that it needs electrolyte. Let's go ahead and pull the tab right off it. Open the acid pack. Probably want to be wearing gloves if you're not familiar with doing this, and same with safety glasses. Open the pack. Take care not to puncture the actual acid pack in here. Pull that away. There's the actual caps that will go onto the battery that are snapped on there. Take the acid pack, put it right above the fill valves, and just give it a swift. And you'll probably want to leave it there for, I would say, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And you want to wait till all the acid trickles into the batteries. And once it's all the way drained in there, you want to let the battery sit for another, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes. And you'll want to put this plastic cap on. And usually the way we do that, I can show you kind of on this battery. It's already installed. We usually mark the date of when the battery is put in service. You can see it says do not open, but you'd put the plastic cap above the holes and kind of get it started with your hand. Throw a rag over it. Take a mallet and carefully tap this plastic strip into the battery. And again, do that 15 to 30 minutes after the acid is drained into the battery. Then let the battery sit for another 15-20 minutes. And you want to put it on a slow charger. You can see they have the recommended rates of charging, 1.2 amps for 5 to 10 hours. Most people have an automatic battery charger, such as a battery tender. It's a little bit lower charge rate than what they recommend here. But if you hook up a battery tender junior to this and leave it overnight, it would top off the charge on this battery, and the battery would be ready to go the next morning. All right, to install or replace the battery on the GTS, first thing you want to do is remove this center rubber mat. On this later 2013 model, it's got T25 Torx screws that retain it. Earlier models, they use a number 2 Phillips. So go ahead and remove all 4 screws. Here's the battery tray. That's for the 12 amp hour battery. It's kind of got some extra depth to it. And it drops right in. See, I have the battery tender leads already routed through it. Let's go ahead and drop that in. And keep the leads out of the way here. And we'll go ahead and drop the battery in. So you always want to do the positive terminal first when you're installing the battery. And if you're removing the battery, you want to disconnect the negative first. And we're Got to kind of push the terminal back a little bit. And I got the battery tender positive lead on top here too. So, and again, if the nut doesn't want to catch, you may want to shim the actual nuts that go into the battery up with a piece of plastic or a small piece of cardboard. You want to crank these down. I'm using a number 3 screwdriver on any of these larger batteries. Use a number 3. You don't need to put a 10mm wrench. That's probably going to be over torquing. Now that I have it started, make sure nothing's pinched here. We'll turn this around. And the last part of installing the battery is installing the battery strap. The battery strap, it kind of only goes one way. You can see it goes, the screw holes are closer to me here. A little bit difficult to slip under this fuse holder sometimes. Because what I find is you slip it in there and get both the screws started before you tighten them all the way down. So get that one started. So that one started there. Now the battery's installed with the strap. Definitely want to put the strap in. See, sometimes people throw the strap away, don't think you really need it. It's a good idea to have it, keeps the battery in place. Before you put the cover back on, make sure all your Tinnerman clips are in place. If there's one that's loose, you can actually pull them off and take like a needle nose pliers and squish them to add a little more shape to them so they'll grab onto these plastic tabs a little bit better. And make sure the cover fits okay. You can see there's this channel right here that kind of routes the wiring. If you have the wires over top of this battery strap, it's not going to fit all that well. And again, get all the screws started. And then go around and snug them all down. There you go, battery's installed. And the last step, we have the battery tender pigtail. It's kind of hanging out from underneath here. A couple places you could zip tie this. If you don't have the center stand or the side stand installed, you could actually zip tie it to the side stand mount. That will keep it out of the way. So you can see it comes with a little cap that protects the terminals on it. And that will keep it out of the way here from. If you ever need to charge the battery now, a lot easier than pulling the cover off every time. Hook up the pigtail to the battery tender or any other type of charger.